Your baby reaches straight past one parent, screaming until the other picks them up. It feels like a personal rejection, but it isn't. Your baby's preference is actually a predictable biological strategy to save nervous system energy. Over the next 8 minutes, we are breaking down the 7 hidden neurological drivers behind parental favoritism, the exact mistake the preferred parent makes, and a 5-step protocol to rebalance the bond. Driver number 1, neurological regulation docking. Infants do not pick a favorite parent based on love or affection. They pick based on sensory familiarity and co-regulation efficiency. The infant brain spends enormous energy processing new sounds, smells, and touch patterns. The parent who performs the bulk of repetitive daily tasks, feeding, rocking, or bedtime, becomes a predictable sensory baseline. Choosing that parent isn't an act of favoritism. It is the baby's amygdala seeking the fastest route to nervous system stabilization with the lowest metabolic cost. Driver number 2, the novelty paradox and cognitive load. When an infant is fully regulated, well-fed, and rested, their brain craves stimulation and novelty. In these high-energy moments, they will often reach for the less frequent parent, seeking playful engagement. However, the moment fatigue, hunger, or sensory overload hits, their cognitive bandwidth collapses. Their brain immediately shuts down the drive for novelty and defaults back to the primary regulation anchor. What looks like hot and cold behavioral rejection is simply a shift between their brain's exploration mode and survival mode. Driver number 3, parental tension feedback loops. Infants are exquisite readers of micro-expressions and muscle tone. When the non-preferred parent steps in, feeling anxious, hesitant, or braced for tears, their physical stiffness sends an instant threat signal to the baby. The baby senses the parent's internal stress, interprets it as environmental danger, and screams louder for the preferred parent. This creates a self-fulfilling loop. Expected rejection causes parental tension, which triggers infant dysregulation, reinforcing the preference. Driver number 4, olfactory auditory imprinting calibration. In early developmental stages, an infant's visual acuity is still coarse, making smell and vocal resonance their primary sensory anchors. The preferred parent often carries a specific microbial scent profile and vocal frequency that the infant's autonomic nervous system mapped during long periods of early skin-to-skin contact or nursing. When handed to the non-preferred parent, the sudden shift in scent chemistry and pitch registered by the auditory cortex acts as a sensory jump cut. The baby isn't rejecting the person, their lower brain is flagging a sudden drop in familiar environmental markers. Driver number 5, vestibular rhythm habituation. Every adult walks, sways, and holds weight with a unique kinetic cadence. One parent might bounce with a subtle vertical rhythm, while the other sways horizontally with a wider gait. The fluid in an infant's inner ear vestibular system quickly habituates to the movement patterns of whoever holds them most frequently. When the other parent steps in, their different kinetic rhythm triggers a mild sensory disturbance in the baby's spatial orientation center. The infant fusses because their vestibular system is struggling to predict the new movement pattern, demanding to return to the motion dynamics it knows best. Driver number 6, executive function boundary testing. As infants transition into toddlerhood, early executive function circuits begin to activate in the prefrontal cortex. They start experimenting with personal agency and cause and effect loops in their social environment. Demanding one specific parent is often their very first exercise in exerting external control over their caregivers. When they scream for one parent and watch the entire household dynamic scramble to accommodate them, their brain registers a massive hit of environmental agency. They aren't suffering emotionally, they are running an active social experiment to test the stability of their boundaries. Driver number 7, overstimulation evacuation. Paradoxically, an infant will sometimes scream for the less expressive parent when their nervous system is totally fried. If one caregiver is highly energetic, talkative, and intensely expressive, an overstimulated baby's brain reaches sensory saturation. Conversely, if that same parent becomes their sole source of comfort, the baby may push them away simply because their high energy presence feels too intense for a tired brain. The infant demands the quieter, calmer parent as a physiological shield to block out external stimulation and allow their sensory cortex to cool down. Here is the comprehensive 5-step protocol to reset this dynamic and restore balance. Step 1. The preferred parent step back. The favored parent must stop swooping in to save the day at the first cry. Hovering signals to the baby that the non-preferred parent is unsafe. Hand over care completely and exit the room. Step 2. High-value task microdosing. Assign the non-preferred parent one hyper-predictable daily routine, like the bath or morning bottle, and keep it uninterrupted for 2 weeks straight to build sensory familiarity. Step 3. Low-pressure, low-touch regulation. If the baby resists holding, don't force physical contact. Sit next to them, speak in a flat, calm voice, and let them regulate near your steady presence before picking them up. Step 4. Kinetic squeezes and movement syncing. The non-preferred parent should explicitly mirror the physical holding angle and swaying speed of the preferred parent. Matching the kinetic cadence reduces vestibular shock and speeds up neurological acceptance. Step 5. Olfactory transfer layering. Place a worn shirt from the preferred parent over the shoulder of the non-preferred parent during comfort routines. This tricks the olfactory system, allowing the baby to anchor into a familiar scent while building a safe physical connection with the other parent. Parental preference is a temporary neurodevelopmental phase, not a permanent grade on your emotional connection. By removing the emotional drama and applying steady sensory repetition, you allow their developing brain to build equal trust in both caregivers. So, what happens when this sudden behavioral shift happens during sleep? Next, look at why your baby suddenly starts waking up crying the exact moment you lay them down and how to stop the drop spasm reflex.